Oh, welcome again to Arthur Brown Photography. It's been a while since I've posted anything because I've had a few health problems. I got immobilised by a spinal injury for a few weeks, and then I contracted pneumonia and ended up in hospital for a while. But back out now and trying to get on the road to recovery. Some time back I posted a video about using vintage lenses on my Sony mirrorless cameras, and at the time I think I'd bought one or two telephotos, a 300 and a 400 millimeter. Since then I've still been looking for vintage lenses. I've decided really to concentrate on Canon FD lenses, really because I've had a lot of experience of these in the past, having used a Canon system, or the older Canon FD system, really from about 1980 up to probably about 1991. I had a Canon A1 and an AE1 body with motor drives on, and quite a lot of lenses that I collected over the years. But I've been looking out on eBay recently for Canon FD lenses, and I came across this 200mm f4 Canon FD lens. This is what they call the new FD, in as much as it's got a bayonet fitting with a release button, just twist and click to put on and put off the original Canon bodies. Now the older FD and previous to that the FL lenses had a breech lock, which had a kind of it had the same mount on, but it locked against the camera with a rotating collar, which could be a bit awkward at times. And I did see stories of people getting lenses stuck. It was never a problem for me. I did have a few of those older lenses that I'd bought second hand in the past, but most of my lenses when I had the Canon FD system were the newer type with the release button, and these are quite easy to use. And obviously you can buy quite cheaply an adapter for the Canon FD system to match it to any mirrorless camera, really. I've obviously got an FD to Sony Nex adapter here, but you can adapt them for Micro Four Thirds and other mirrorless systems as well. And in fact, I'd say that the what they call the new FD with a button is a lot easier to mount the adapter to than the old breech lock system. Although quite a lot of my older lenses, the vintage ones I use, particularly the ones that are not genuine Canon, but Vivitar or Hoya, etc., do have the breech lock, and I find it's easy to try and just mount the adapter on that and leave them on. So I've bought these adapters are only what, £12 each or something. So I've bought 4 of these just to so I don't have to keep swapping them over too often as I use the various lenses. Now this lens, 200mm, it's quite a nice telephoto length, portraits and street photography and all sorts really. It's obviously being f4, it's not that fast, but it's nice and light. And in fact, this new FD, as it's called, was a lot lighter than the previous breech lock model as well. So this one actually came with a genuine Canon skylight filter on it as well, which is quite nice. I picked this up on eBay for £21, and it is in very, very good condition. It's not brand new looking, some signs of wear, but the glass is perfect. and everything works well on this. So it's got a captive lens hood which just slides in and out. A nice wide rubber focusing band, and then you've got the aperture control. Now, for anyone who's not used to using vintage lenses on mirrorless cameras, you do have to do everything manually. There's no autofocus, no automatic exposure with the aperture or anything like that. So it's all manual. Not a problem for me because I grew up in a time where everything was manual. I'm 70 now, and I started as a photographer when I was 11 with my first serious camera, which was a Zeiss. So I'm used to doing things manually, and in the old days I used to use an exposure meter to actually set the speed of the shutter and the aperture. Obviously, whilst this is all manual, it still does meter through, and you can set the correct aperture on the camera. You can either set your speed and then change the aperture, or set the aperture and change the speed, or you can put it on auto ISO, which provided you're not in very low light and it gets to silly high ISO regions, gives you some element of automatic operation as well. So now, I did take this lens out with me a few days ago, and visit to our local farm shop where there's a few animals, and I'll post some of those pictures now, so you can see the results from this. Very pleased with it, actually, to be honest. It's going to be quite a good lens for just going out and doing general photography work. I'm not sure how useful a 200mm lens will be for video work. It's perhaps a little bit long for the type of video work that I do, but I should give it a try, don't worry. So this will fit on my my Sony A7 Mark IV and also onto the FX3 as well. So today I'm actually using the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 to video this. Right, so let's get on and have a look at some of the pictures that were taken with this lens. Right, I hope you enjoyed that. I've got one other lens I've bought that I did mention in my previous video that I'd ordered, had on order, which was the a close-up macro lens. It's a Panagore 90mm f2.8, which was again that's a Canon FD breech lock mount. That was a fairly popular lens probably back in the 1970s, and it was kind of generic. It was under the Panagore brand. I think it was the same as the Vivitar and one or two of the others, Takinas and things that were on the market at the time. So now that does have a very close focus on it. and it is really good for macro work. And I will do a separate video about that. So anyway, thanks for watching this, and look out for my next video. Bye for now.